Hello, JEDI Visionaries. Yes, that's you. If you're listening to this podcast right now, you're a part of the community who envision a more just, equitable, decolonized, and inclusive future. So we're all JEDI Visionaries. And guess what? There are a lot of us out there. We're a growing community, and just as we're wrapping up season 2, there have been more than 2,500 episode listens. Friends, thank you so much for believing in the mission and supporting the work. Trust me, creating this podcast from scratch has had its challenges, and it's thanks to the support of you, that's right, you listening right now, that people all over the world are starting to change their lens. So, JEDI Visionaries, how do we keep the momentum going? Well, the podcast is going to take a short break before season 3, but your active involvement is always welcome and needed. Here are some ways to stay involved and keep changing your lens. First, you can be a JEDI ambassador. Engage your community and introduce a friend, loved one, or colleague to the podcast. Maybe if you have a diversity committee or employee resource group at work, you want to listen to some episodes together, like a book club, but for podcasts. I guess that makes it a podcast club. Anyway, it's easy to share by linking to our website, changinglenses.ca, or forward any of our social media posts on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Just search for me, Rosie Young JEDI, and you'll find me. Please remember to tag me in your post so I can like and say thanks. A second way to keep changing your lens is to level up your learning. 3 main pillars form the foundation of changing lenses: education, personal change, and systems change. This podcast is part of education, which hopefully leads to personal change if people synthesize and apply what they're learning. That's a big if. But this can be difficult to do just from listening to a podcast, especially if you're doing it on your own. That's why I believe in one-on-one coaching. Over my career, I have benefited from a variety of professional coaches, but the most impactful ones were the ones who helped me identify and deal with my deep down personal stuff, which then benefits all areas of my life, including work. When it comes to JEDI, you may have heard it said that we need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, but just telling us to get comfortable isn't helping us to be comfortable. I developed Changing Lenses one-on-one adaptive change leadership program to help you process and debrief what you're learning in a non-judgmental space away from colleagues, bosses, and staff. I'm your cheerleader, collaborator, curator, and compassionate challenger, walking the JEDI path beside you. Because sometimes we need a little help to reach our goals. Even when we know something is really good for us and we're incredibly motivated to do it, like eating healthy or my personal challenge, getting more sleep. We can't always actually do it. Changing Lenses coaching uses proven methods to identify our unique individual barriers to change, how we got them, and then how to manage them, not overcome them, to reach the change we want. If this sounds helpful to you, please email me at rosie@changinglenses.ca to request me as your JEDI coach. We'll set up a free initial consultation to figure out a custom plan just for you. So I hope to hear from you soon. The third, but not least, way to stay involved is by asking your JEDI questions. I love hearing from you, and I read all of your emails and messages. Did you know that your questions and feedback influence the content of future blog posts, podcast episodes, and resource sharing? So let your voice be heard. Again, email me at rosie@changinglenses.ca to tell me what you'd like more of, what you want less of, and just what you're curious about related to JEDI. If you're on your phone right now and want to send a voice message, you can DM me on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. And my Facebook and Instagram handle is @RosieYoungJedi. One final word before we close season 2. I'm committed to keeping this podcast free of charge and accessible to as many people as possible, since, I'm about equity and inclusion. Some podcasts charge membership fees for people to listen, and that is one way to keep podcasts sustainable. There's nothing wrong with that, but for me, I'm really hoping to keep the podcast funded through Changing Lenses paid services like my coaching program, workshops, and keynote speaking. But I know you JEDI Visionaries are all at different and unique places in your journeys, and you may want to support the podcast without engaging these services, which is totally fine. If you'd like to provide financial support on top of your already wonderful listener support, I gratefully receive contributions on my website, changinglenses.ca/support. Payment is securely processed through PayPal. If you don't want to use PayPal, no problem. Email me at rosie@changinglenses.ca and we'll arrange something else. Friends, thank you again for a wonderful year and a wonderful 2 seasons of the Changing Lenses podcast so far. I look forward to joining you again in 2022 and to many more years of JEDI change by changing what we see. Until then, take care and may the force of social change be with you.